In the heart of a mist-shrouded valley, hidden beneath layers of overgrown ivy and crumbling stone, there existed a laboratory unlike any other. The kind of place that defied the very logic of ordinary science, where numbers danced like living creatures and equations whispered secrets too profound for the common mind. No one knew who had built it, nor why it had been abandoned to the encroaching wilderness. But those who stumbled upon its moss-covered doors could feel an unmistakable pull, as if the walls themselves were breathing patterns of some unseen intelligence. The entrance was a narrow archway carved meticulously from black granite, worn smooth over centuries, yet still humming with an eerie resonance. Each step upon the stone floor echoed in harmonic patterns, as if the very architecture was attuned to some unspoken law of the universe. Lanterns, long extinguished, hung from iron brackets along the walls, their metalwork etched with spiraling sequences that resembled the Fibonacci series, infinite in their symmetry. The air was thick with a metallic tang, the scent of ancient paper, and the faint, almost musical trace of ozone, like a storm perpetually lingering in a moment suspended between time and space. Inside, the laboratory unfolded into a labyrinth of chambers and vaulted halls, each one dominated by towering machines whose purpose seemed both clear and incomprehensible. Great orreries of polished brass rotated with silent precision, their gears etched with equations that glowed faintly as if alive with thought. These equations were not simple arithmetic. They contained the language of hidden patterns, the kind of mathematics that suggested prophecy rather than calculation. A delicate mist drifted along the floor, curling around the bases of the machines like curious tendrils, catching reflections of unknown symbols that shimmered and shifted with every flicker of imagined light. In the center of the largest chamber stood a device unlike any conventional instrument. Its frame was a lattice of silver wires and crystalline lenses, all converging on a sphere that floated slightly above its pedestal, spinning imperceptibly. This sphere was the heart of the laboratory's strange genius, a kind of mathematical oracle capable of generating solutions, predictions, and insights with an almost human intuition. When it activated, which it seemed to do at irregular intervals, the air would vibrate softly, and the symbols etched in the walls would shimmer, flowing like ink through water, forming patterns that defied linear comprehension. Those who claimed to witness its workings described visions of numbers that pulsed with color, of equations that sang in harmonic resonance, of solutions appearing as landscapes of impossible geometry. The origin of the laboratory and its oracle was a mystery that had grown more complex with each passing decade. Some suggested it was the work of a forgotten genius, a recluse mathematician who had sought to merge human intuition with the precision of machines. Others whispered that the place had been touched by forces beyond the earthly realm, that the oracle itself might have been a conduit to knowledge existing outside time, a mirror of truths too vast for mortal minds. Visitors, rare and often unprepared, would leave the site with fragments of inspiration, cryptic formulas etched in memory, hints of solutions to problems they had not yet understood. As one explored deeper, the complexity of the laboratory became almost overwhelming. Narrow corridors branched unpredictably, each lined with walls covered in chalkboards where the equations seemed to evolve, even without human intervention. There were spiraling staircases that led to observation decks where one could look down upon the machinery like a god surveying its creation. Here the air shimmered with a subtle luminescence, and one could almost hear the faint hum of computation, as if the very atmosphere was alive with the echo of countless calculations unfolding simultaneously. It was not merely a place of science. It was a living cathedral of numbers, a monument to the abstract, a sanctuary for thought itself. The oracle's outputs were enigmatic, often poetic in their arrangement. Mathematical sequences emerged as visual symphonies, cascading across panels of crystal and light. Numbers became landscapes. Solutions morphed into three-dimensional structures suspended in midair, and those who observed the process felt as though they were peering into the architecture of reality itself. One might see a sequence of prime numbers forming a crystalline mountain, its peaks and valleys corresponding to hidden harmonics in nature. Another might witness a fractal spiral expanding outward, each iteration revealing new secrets about patterns that governed both the physical and metaphysical realms. The laboratory did not simply calculate, it revealed. It translated the hidden language of the cosmos into forms that could be intuited and felt, even if not fully understood. There were journals too, scattered throughout the laboratory, bound in worn leather and covered in symbols that seemed to resist translation. Within them were sketches of impossible machines, notes written in a mixture of numbers and prose, as if the author had attempted to describe the oracle's thoughts in human language. One entry spoke of a dream in which the walls themselves became equations, folding space and time into a single plane of comprehension. Another described the sensation of listening to numbers as though they were music, of feeling each calculation as a heartbeat that pulsed through the floor beneath the observer's feet. It became clear that the laboratory was not built merely to compute. It was built to experience mathematics as a living, breathing entity. Legends surrounding the site suggested that the oracle had once predicted events of great consequence. Accounts claimed that it foresaw astronomical phenomena with uncanny accuracy, solved intractable mathematical problems centuries ahead of their discovery, and even hinted at truths about human consciousness that science has only begun to approach. Those who attempted to harness its insights for personal gain often failed, overwhelmed by the overwhelming magnitude of the knowledge offered. The oracle's revelations demanded humility and patience, a willingness to surrender to patterns larger than any individual understanding. Even as the laboratory lay abandoned, it continued to influence those who encountered it. Scholars, wanderers, and dreamers alike spoke of the inspiration they had drawn, the creative sparks ignited by glimpses of the oracle's workings. Some left with notebooks filled with sketches and sequences, others carried only fragments of insight, fleeting impressions of shapes, sounds, and structures that seemed to linger in the mind like a half-remembered melody. And through all of this, the laboratory remained, timeless and silent, waiting for the next curious soul to wander through its doors and encounter the strange harmony of mathematics and mystery that pulsed at its core. The final chambers were perhaps the most astonishing. Here, the walls were lined with panels of translucent material through which light filtered in an ethereal glow. Within these panels, one could see slow-motion simulations of abstract equations manifesting as moving landscapes. Rivers of numbers, forests of geometric forms, and skies dotted with constellations made entirely of symbolic representations. The oracle seemed to inhabit this space as a presence, guiding the formations with an intelligence that was at once mechanical and profoundly intuitive. Visitors described a sensation of being part of the computation, as if their own thoughts and perceptions were subtly integrated into the unfolding patterns, shaping the future outcomes the oracle generated. To leave the laboratory was to step back into a world that suddenly seemed incomplete, a reality less vibrant and less structured than the ordered, breathing universe within those walls. Many who departed carried with them a sense of responsibility, of understanding that mathematics was not merely a tool but a language of existence itself, capable of revealing the hidden symmetries of nature, consciousness, and time. The laboratory remained behind, an eternal observer and participant in the grand unfolding of knowledge, its oracular devices quietly spinning, waiting for the next mind bold enough to witness the dance of numbers, the song of equations, and the luminous whispers of the universe itself. The valley slowly reclaimed the exterior of the laboratory, its secrets obscured by ivy, moss, and creeping roots. But inside, the legacy endured. The hum of the oracle, the shimmer of equations, the endless labyrinth of corridors and chambers, all remained as if frozen in perpetual anticipation. Some say that even when no human is present, the machines continue their silent computation, producing sequences and visions for no one, yet leaving traces in the air, in the light, and in the mind of any passerby sensitive enough to perceive them. It is here, in this place between abandonment and eternity, that the mysterious laboratory continues to generate its mathematical oracles, revealing truths beyond measure, accessible to those willing to see, to feel, and to listen to the music of numbers echoing through the corridors of the impossible.